Sir, with your prior permission, should I begin?
You can, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Good morning, everyone. I, Arjun Arora, take it as my utmost honor and privilege to extend a hearty welcome on behalf of School of Law, GD Goenka University, to the valedictory session of the Faculty Development Program on Innovative Teaching and Research Methods in Law that took place from 10th to 14th of January 2022. I would now like to invite Dr. Mohammad Tariq Intizar Sir, Associate Professor, GD Goenka University, to address the gathering and to give us a reflection of the event, followed by the declaration of results. Sir, please.
Thanks, Arjun. A very good afternoon to everyone. Honorable Chief Guest, Professor Ranbir Singh Sir, Vice Chancellor, Professor Tabrez Ahmed Sir, GD Goenka University, guest, FDP participants, and their colleagues. FDP 2022 on Innovative Teaching and Research Method in Law was organized by School of Law, GD Goenka University, Gurgaon, Hisar, from 10th January to 14th, 2022. The main objective was to upgrade the innovative teaching and research skills in law for the basic understanding of key concepts of case law, methods of teaching and case-based research, using new technologies for teaching and research process, and developing strong research proposal writing and projects. FDP provided knowledge to academicians, early and mid-career faculty members, scholars, and PG students in the field of legal studies. It was an opportunity to learn various aspects of innovative teaching and research method with leading resource person in the field of law and social sciences. The participants learned about the innovative and scientific methods used in teaching and case-based research, legal research. The technical sessions of FDP were day 1 on January 10, 2022, sessions by Professor Debashish Poddar, National Law University Judicial Academy, Assam, on case law methods of teaching techniques and professional legal education, and by Dr. Anjali Nidha Saran, Dean Research, GD Goenka University, Gurgaon, on research planning. Day 2, January 11, 2022, sessions by Professor Dr. Faizan Mustafa Sir, Vice Chancellor, Nalsar University, Hyderabad, on teaching and research methods in law. Professor Dr. Gary Fair, Associate Vice President, Research Engagement and Graduate Studies, University of Fraser Valley, Canada, on how technology has advanced participatory research methods, and in second half by Professor Salim Jamsher, Associate Dean, Narsee Monjee Institute of Management Studies, Mumbai, on case study as a research method. Let's go to day 3, dated January 12, 2022, session by Professor J.S. Vajpayee Sir, Vice Chancellor, Rajiv Gandhi National University of Law, Patiala, on qualitative, quantitative, and mixed method approach. And Professor Rakesh Chopra from University of Petroleum and Energy Studies, Dehradun, on outcome-based teaching and research method. Let's go to the day 4, January 13, 2022, session by Professor Upen Chaudhary, Professor Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh, and former Director, ICSR, New Delhi, on changing research scenario and opportunities for funding. And the same session taken by, and the same speaker by Professor Upen Chaudhary on how to write a successful research proposal. And in the second half session by Professor Alok Pandey, Dean School of Management, GD Goenka University, Gurgaon, on effective case teaching and learning. Let's go to the final day, day 5, January 14, 2022, session by Professor G.S. Srijit, Executive Dean, JGLS, OP Jindal University, Gurgaon, Haryana, on preparing legal research paper for high impact factor journals, and paper development workshop by Professor Afzal Wani from School of Law and Legal Studies, GGS, Indraprasth University, New Delhi. It was indeed a pleasure to listen to these luminaries. They enlightened us on some of the important aspects previously overlooked by us. We definitely returned enriched and acquainted with the shades of innovative teaching research methods in law. I believe such kind of FDP should be conducted at regular intervals to refresh and brush up our knowledge. I'm sure the FDP would go a long way in teaching, developing, and research career. Thanks to all. Now it's time to declare the result from the quiz competition, which was recently conducted by our university. As we had announced earlier in the inaugural day for the attractive prizes and certificates from the quiz competition, it's time to announce the winners. Let's see. Let me announce the winner. Third prize goes to Priyanka Taktawala, Assistant Professor of Law from Karnamati University. Congratulations, Priyanka. Second prize goes to Miss Ritika Chaudhary, Teaching Assistant, College of Vocational Studies, GT Goenka University, Gurgaon, Hisar. Now, time to announce the first prize. The first prize goes to Miss Garima Sridhar, postgraduate student, National Law University, Bhopal. Congratulations to all the winners. All the winners will get a beautiful pack of beautiful diary and a pack of Parker Victor stainless steel pen with keyring from GT Goenka University. I can show you the prize. I have a prize. I can show it to you. This is a beautiful pack of beautiful diary and Parker. I can show you. This is a beautiful diary from GT Goenka University, which was specially designed, made for you. And a beautiful marker pen with a vector stainless steel with a beautiful keyring. So many congratulations to all the winners. Over to Arjun. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. I now request Professor Dr. Tabrez Ahmed, sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor, GT Goenka University and Dean School of Law, to address the gathering. Sir, please.
Thank you, Arjun. It's a matter of great honor and privilege that we have today Professor Dr. Ranbir Singh, one of the very well-known figure in the country in the area of legal education. He is stalwart and also excellent professor. And in fact, he has been the pillar behind the changing the scenario of legal education in the country, bringing excellence. A matter of great happiness that sir found time and gracing the occasion today. And he will be giving the valedictory address, and he would like to speak on creating a culture of research among the law students in the law school. We know very well that research is a very important component for legal education. And that's why there is no limit for excellence in research. And sir has very kindly selected a very important topic to deal about how to create a culture for research in the law school model. I'm very happy to see that we have great scholars who has shared their thought on various aspects of law from last 5 days. And also we are very eagerly waiting to listen the Dr. Ranbir Singh on his thoughts on the legal research. I'm sure the participants have gone ahead and also taken a lot of value addition in their knowledge by different speakers. Let me also thank the entire team of the School of Law, Dr. Tariq, Dr. Adim Pathan, Dr. Aditi, and also entire team for FDP, who are working for the last 3-4 months to design the curriculum, to design the FDP. And I'm very happy to see it was a grand success because we have seen a lot of interest from the entire country. Almost all the top law schools are participating in this FDP. And also they are very actively engaging. And also we have seen that they were participated in the kind of the contest, and also they got the awards. With these few words, I welcome you all in the last session of this particular FDP. And also let me welcome Dr. Ranbir Singh for finding time and also willing to share his thoughts on a very important area of legal research and how to build up a culture of research. So thank you very much for finding time. Now, the floor is open for you, sir.
Okay, Tabrez, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Professor Tabrez, the Vice Chancellor, the faculty and friends, a very happy New Year to all of you and a very happy Makar Sankranti. We are meeting on a very auspicious day today afternoon. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my experience with you about how to create a culture of developing research skill in law students at the law school. Actually, I chose this because we are talking about the faculty development program, and the entire focus is on the faculty and all the program which I saw, which has been going on for a number of days, the entire focus is on faculty development. But I deliberately, when I discussed with you, thought let us keep these students at the center stage, because ultimately that is the future generation who will become teachers and professors, and then probably that would be the future generation. So normally, it might be your experience also, when we organize the orientation course for a fresh batch of students, and when we expect questions, if there is any feedback from anybody, either the students or the parents, one important question which is almost asked by everybody is, what about placements? And they also say that we have seen that the students from other colleges or faculties do not get such good placements as the students of the national schools or the national law universities get. And there is a this may be a kind of observation, or a kind of a slightly maybe in the form of a complaint, that the entire placement, 90% of them go to the students of the national schools and not to others. The reason is very simple. The reason is a culture of research which has been created at the law schools. Now, how that culture of research can be created at the law school? What we do is that when the students join us in the first year, we have a system that in each and every paper they have to do a research project. Say, for example, in one particular semester, if we have 5 papers, in each paper they have to do a research project. That would mean that in even first semester there are 5 papers, and by the time they pass out of the law schools, they have to do 10 semesters. So that means they have to do 50 research projects. So that is the research competency they get when they pass out of the law school, that they have done 50 research projects. How they do it? So when they initially join in the first year, in the very first week, what we do is that, say, for example, in a class, there are 60 students. Each and every student will be allotted a project. And how we do it? We prepare a list of 60 projects, say, for example, legal method. We will prepare a list of 60 projects and put them in a box and call each and every student randomly or by roll number, and they will pick up the slips. And whatever project would be written on that slip, that would be noted down in a register, that would become his project or her project. So that way, a list of 60 projects will be prepared for each and every student in the class. If they would have some difficulties, and if they would like to change it, that can also be discussed with the help of the teacher. And the teacher teaching that subject would be the guide, you can say, or the mentor, to guide those students in a particular subject. So that's how in each and every paper, the teacher subjecting the teaching the subject would be the guide in that particular research projects. And then there are very strong timelines. Timelines in the sense that when the rough draft will be submitted, when the final draft will be submitted, and then there will be presentation. That would mean that each and every student will make a presentation in the classroom when the research projects are done. And these presentations are done mostly in the afternoon, followed by question answer by the students. So the written part of the examination would be 70 marks, and 30 marks are for the projects. You can very well imagine the importance given to the projects in the national law schools. 70 and 30. In 30, there are components about your contents, about your presentation, about your quality of research, about your oratory, about your skills, and all that everything, there are separate marks for that. And teacher will see that those marks are allotted on a on a pro forma and submit it to the university. So it happens almost in every year. So initially, there is another important aspect which you need to take note of is when the students of the first year, first batch, they join, for 15 days, they attend classes before lunch. And after lunch, there is compulsory 15 days orientation course with the library. That would mean they have to understand that how to consult a library, because libraries are catalyst for human progress as they aid the development and transmission of knowledge. A law school library is a collection of legal materials such as case law, constitutions, legislations, legal articles, reporting journals, parliamentary proceedings, legal monographs, treatises, judicial and administrative decisions, and other legal resources related to national and international means in print as well as digital form of media for a specific class of users such as law students, legal scholars, and others. We find law school library make significant contribution to formal and informal education, including lifelong learning to the students. And in recent years, the advent of online legal research outlets such as SEC Online, AIR Infotech, Manupatra, IndLaw, FindLaw, Westlaw, LexisNexis, and Hain Online has reduced the need for some type of printed volumes like reports and statutory complications. These are wonderful software. A law school research culture must be well equipped with the electronic database, including AIR Infotech, online IP-based AIR CD-ROM based database containing access to SEC plus Criminal Law Journal plus Privy Council, SEC Online, Manupatra, Taxman, Corporate Law Advisor, Economic and Political Weekly, India Stat, Live Law, Bar and Bench, Westlaw, LexisNexis, Hays Online, Jester, Kulver Arbitration, Kulver Competition, Oxford University Press ebook, Cambridge University Press book. Now, these are all databases and software which I'm mentioning, which should be there in a very good library. So the law school must provide remote access, search mechanism to patrons for accessing digestible database of the library from outside campus. Not that they can have access to this material inside the campus, but this material can also be accessed from outside. And apart from this, there are other activities which are very, very central to research. For example, apart from project writing, the second I come to MOOCs. Now, when the students prepare for MOOCs, now there are so many MOOCs happening every year. There are about 30, 40, or maybe 50 MOOCs happening in a year. MOOC is one very important activity through which the students learn the art of research, because they have to do research on the MOOC problem and then present before the judges. So this is one very important activity where the students of law in any law school must participate in the MOOC code competition, because it will develop their research competencies in a very, very definite way. So that is another activity. Third, which we do in the law schools is, this is peculiar the law schools, that we have centers for research. I will give you just one example. For example, at NLU Delhi, we have a center for death penalty at NLU Delhi. And you all know that this center is a world-class center, recognized not only in India, but abroad, and which has done phenomenal research. And for those who do not know, let me tell you that initially when we started it, the idea was to interview each and every person languishing in jail and who has been awarded death penalty. Initially, there were 400 people in that category, and the faculty and the students of the center, they started interviewing them, and it was a kind of empirical research. And it was a wonderful experience, not for the faculty, and also for the students. And then a wonderful report about what is wrong with the criminal justice system as far as the death row victims is concerned, we were not only trying to look into the plight of the death row victims, we were also trying to look at the overall the situation, what is the quality of the criminal law administration in India. And this report was released by Honorable Justice Lokur, who was the judge of the Supreme Court at that time, and became a landmark kind of a document. And what is more important for me to share with you is that many faculty and students might think, what the students have to do with the research centers. Let me tell you that in these death penalty centers, so far, there are about 500 students have done placements. And when they do placement, they do research, they do empirical, collect empirical data, and help the center in developing that document. So far, 3-4 very important publications have been done. And more importantly, let me also inform you that the 2 Rhodes Scholars, which NLU Delhi got, both those 2 Rhodes Scholars came from the Death Penalty Center. Because as far as the Rhodes Scholar is concerned, the parameters are, they don't look at only at your CGPA, they also look at your community engagement, whether you engage with the community or not. That means apart from the skills you have developed as a lawyer, you may be a good lawyer, but are you a good human being? Do you engage with the community? What is the social impact of your research? So that's why both the Rhodes Scholars were working as interns in the Death Penalty Center. That is the beauty of the research center's research. It is a very high class research which is done in, I'm only referring to one center, there are dozens of centers at NLU Delhi. So apart from this, then the third component is the students, they have their own journal. Not only one journal, they have journal in different areas. Maybe sometimes there are 5 to 6 journals run by students, where articles are written by students of the NLU Delhi as well as the students of the other law schools. And they contribute their articles. And they maintain a very high standard as far as these journals are concerned. And they are yearly published. And you find state-of-the-art articles. Even if a teacher would give an article, the student body, there is an editorial board of the students. They have to ultimately clear that article. If it is worth publishing, they will publish it. When the article of a faculty may not be published in their journal. And likewise, the students can publish their article in the journal of the faculty. So that is another area where the research competency is developed. And when we go to 4th year and 5th year, we have special seminar courses. Like in 4th year, there are 2 seminar courses where they do full research project. Like we do in LLM, we write a dissertation. Instead of a paper, they write a full dissertation on 2 subjects. And the same way, they write 4 dissertations in the 5th year. So there are 6 dissertations and the rest of the research projects where we acquired those. The idea to give them dissertations is to do a research in a much wider perspective. In projects, you write 8 or 10 pages, but in dissertations, you write at least 40, 50 pages. And each and every project is taken care of. There is no plagiarism. You know that so software is there. Each and every project is checked so that there is no plagiarism. And as far as the 4th year, 5th year projects are concerned, those are sent to best of faculty, those who are outside the university, so that these standards are maintained. And those projects in the 4th year, 5th year are especially given in the subjects where the students are taking seminar papers. Seminar papers are those papers where the students want to develop their expertise. Say, for example, if the students in the 4th year, they want to specialize in competition law, then they will have papers in competition law and they will be writing a dissertation in competition law. Now, that is the beauty of the dissertation in the 4th year and the 5th year. Let me share you one example with you. One time I came to meet Justice Sinha from Hyderabad, who was my Chief Justice there and Chancellor. I came to see him in Delhi when he became a Judge of the Supreme Court. When I came to see him, he looked to me very happy. And normally he's a very serious person. I asked him, sir, is there anything special? He said, I want to share a story with you that a girl student from Nalsar is doing internship with me, and I want to share the experience of her research with you. And he told me that I was dealing with a very difficult matter, and I called that girl and said, can you do some research for me? And she said, oh, obviously, I'll do it. How much time it will take? I said. The girl said, give me some, maybe a week. And I knew this is a very difficult topic. I said, no, don't worry. Take 10 days and then you can come to me. But I found that within a week, the girl came to my office, and I thought she must be saying that I'm sorry, I didn't find any material and I will not be able to do it. But to my surprise, there was a 10-page note. I said, you leave the note and we'll meet tomorrow. I read that note at night time once, twice, three times. And I could not believe my eyes that this note is written by that girl. The morning, the very first thing I did is that I called that girl and said, who has written this note? She said, I have written it myself. I could never believe it that such a beautiful research could be done by this girl. And each and every research of that note went to my judgment. So this is the quality of the research which the students of the law schools or the law universities are capable of. And that is the reason that when the corporates come to recruit them, or they either from India or abroad, because from abroad also the Magic Circle firms, they come to recruit them. And because of the research competency, the maximum students, those who get placements are from the national law universities, or national law schools. There is nothing for the years. In these 5 years, they have acquired the skill of research. And that's what is important. So I thought that in this brief time which has been given to me, I will be sharing you the success story of National University of Delhi, and how and in which way we develop a skill of research in those law students. And if somebody will ask me that what is the mandate of a law school, I often say that our mandate is to produce a generation of lawyers, those who are technically sound, professionally competent, and socially relevant. I'm extremely happy to be with you this evening. And I thought I will, Professor Tabrez, I thought I will share my experience being with the National University of Delhi with the faculty, and maybe they will make some use of it. And if they want to have a first-hand experience, they can themselves visit the law university sometime and see that how the research is conducted in the classroom and also in the research centers. Thank you for inviting me to this program. It is always a pleasure, Tabrez.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. I would now like to call upon Professor Dr. Azim Khan Patan, sir, Head of Department, School of Law, GD Goenka University, to address the gathering and deliver the vote of thanks. Sir, please.
Thank you, Arjun. Very good evening to our honorable guest, Professor Dr. Ranbir Singh, sir, for giving his valuable time here and, indeed addressing to the participants and gathering, indeed enlightening how exactly, teaching and research process, indeed it can go ahead, and sharing his experience, based on his founding many national law school, including the NLU Delhi's, his great experience. So indeed, truly, we are benefited, sir, by your, words of wisdom on this occasion of this FDP's valedictory session. I am so much thankful to you, especially on behalf of our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, Professor Tabrez Ahmed, and all management. Indeed, I extend heartfelt gratitude at this juncture for coming here and taking out time and, sharing your valuable thoughts and enlightening all participants. Indeed, we are so much thankful to you, sir, for coming here virtually. Indeed, this particular workshop has been for almost 5 days, and we have also, got benefited by different talk, by different, luminaries from the field. So indeed, that was already, reflected in the reflection by Dr. Tariq. So in that context, I also extend heartfelt gratitude to our all indeed speakers and guests at this juncture, especially Professor Faizan Mustafa, Professor G.S. Bajpai, Professor Afzal Wani, Professor Debashish Poddar, Professor Srijit, Professor Upendra Chaudhary, Professor R.K. Chopra, Professor Alok Pandey, Professor Anjali Midha for their valuable, sessions and, enlightening to all participants in this 5-day FDP program. I also extend our heartfelt gratitude to our, indeed, the guide and our mentor, Professor Dr. Tabrez Ahmed, who always, keeps us motivating and inspiring to go ahead with all kinds of constructive activities. So I also extend heartfelt gratitude to you, sir, on the occasion of this valedictory session. Indeed, this particular workshop could not become indeed a success. Indeed, I will consider at this juncture without, coordinating and without the support of and all kinds of, activities who coordinated by Dr. Tariq and then Dr. Aditi for their, wonderful, coordination and, conducting this 5 days workshop. So I'm so much thankful to you, Dr. Tariq and Dr. Aditi, on behalf of entire School of Law and GD Goenka University for having this wonderful, the FDP workshop. I also extend my heartfelt gratitude on this occasion of FDP to Dr. Ajit, Dr. Priti, Dr. Shweta, Dr. Rakesh, Mr. Shreyash Vyas, Ms. Sania, Mr. Himanshu, Dr. Dakshita, Dr. Savita, Mr. Subit, Dr. Afkar for coordinating and moderating many sessions and coordinating many other activities. I also extend my heartfelt gratitude to our student team and especially Mr. Arjun for their all kinds of support in coordination of this entire FDP session. I also extend at this juncture my heartfelt gratitude and thank to our all technical support, IT section, support staff, and all people and Vika as well on the occasion of this valedictory session. I also extend heartfelt gratitude to all participants who indeed, participated in this entire 5 days workshop, FDP, and there are all kinds of, questions, queries, and important, deliberations which happened right from first day to this last day. So I extend, my heartfelt gratitude to all of them as well. Thank you. Thank you so much for this particular workshop and your participation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. With this, we now come to the end of the valedictory ceremony. We now look forward to meeting you soon ahead, sometime else. For those people who have actually missed the sessions that we had during the 5-day program, you can actually visit the sessions on our School of Law, GD Goenka University YouTube page. Those sessions would be really helpful. You can access them whenever you want. Thank you so much for joining us today.